based on the analysis of student learning evidence, establish what has been learned and by whom. So of the evidence, the students are learning about blending with initial consonants. And I just thought that with additional support, I didn't really see anyone need additional support as far as like special education students or students that are English language learners, but
Yeah.
you did present the information in so many different formats. So a bunch of different learners could access the information. So I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about your students' learning characteristics that you didn't realize previously?
Looking at this, just kind of something I really noticed is we both actually did younger grades, which I'm glad we did because we have a lot to talk about with that. And I
Right.
saw so many similarities in your video to mine, but attention is always a problem with the little ones. You know, they really need to get a hold of it. And so for my class, even though it's not my class, but I think it spans for all grades because I think it was with yours too, is that they really need something physical in front of them to really understand it. They don't do well with the lecture, which I mean, I tried not to lecture them, but I brought out little 3D objects. Their eyes lit up at that. And whenever I gave them a worksheet to work on, that's what really helped them learn. So it's really cemented the fact that it's like the less you talk at them and the more you either talk with them or work with them is what it's really good. And it's like we talk about that in class, but it's completely different to see in the moment. And I for sure thought, even if you're not technically a visual learner at this age, I think a lot of them really need tangible things. So that's just what I picked up from mine.
I tried to incorporate, like you did, the little plastic animals, which I thought was amazing because it was something tangible, like you said, that they could actually see.
Yeah.
But you also had, again, the whiteboard. We both did the whiteboard. It was a great way for them to visually see. But you went through and for auditory formats, you kind of went through and was like, what is burr? How do we say that? Burr. And you had them say it as a whole. And I think that's a great way to incorporate those UDL approaches and that multi-tiered support system. I thought the assessments that you did were great too. The different types of assessments that you had, the different colors that you had, incorporating them, coloring in.
Yeah, something I would do differently next time is, here's just like some of the examples is on these, like I looked at the sheet before, obviously, because I kind of like help make it and find it and stuff.
Right.
But I don't realize what they don't know. Like this picture, like I'm like, it's a blouse. A first grader doesn't know that's a blouse. So next time I think I would go in and really choose words that they know. And what other ones? Like even this one, they didn't really understand that they were blocks, because kids, I guess, nowadays don't play with blocks. I mean, I played with blocks, but I guess they don't now. So I think that's something I would do differently for the future, is maybe if I could understand my class a little bit more and know what they do know and what they don't know for these type of worksheets. So, because it kind of defeats the purpose when I'm walking around going, it's a blouse. And they're like, oh, blouse. Okay. Just the hardest part was like one student, my higher achieving student, finished the worksheet, nobody's business, was done. But then my little lower achiever took way longer. So that was the part where, because he's very impatient, he gets his work done, but he's super impatient and needs to be doing something. So he's like, I'm done, what do I do? And I'm like, oh, go ahead and color in or try to do some challenge words on the back. So that was the only part that I guess I didn't write in my lesson, that students would finish at very different times. Not like a minute here, a minute there, like he was done before the rest of the class was. So that was just something to, if I ever teach this class again, to take into consideration that he needs more stuff.
Right. He just needs another, or maybe just a different activity to keep him busy until the rest of the class is done.
Exactly. And
so, what about you?
I also agree is that I come off more confident than I am. Just in general, recording myself is never my favorite thing to do. It's just teaching. The kids don't know that I'm as inexperienced as I am. So you have to just come across as confident. And in my video, I think I came across confident enough, but also I learned that I want to find like this happy medium where I'm smiling more. I don't feel like I smiled enough. And made it happy enough of a lecture. I just feel like I want to make it a more positive experience and just be more like happy and do the whole more compliments instead of focusing on the negatives. I don't think I focus on the negatives, but always just err on the more positive side. So be more happy, smiley, and be like, point out great jobs as opposed to, hey, can you please sit down? Be like, oh my gosh, Sarah over there's a super sitter. Maybe you could do just like her. So I
Right.
definitely want to lean more towards that
Right.
end of the spectrum, especially for the little ones. I want to focus more on, I'm getting better and better at it with more experience, but it's just kind of human nature to be like, for the kid that's acting up, like, hey, please sit down, don't do that, instead of rewarding the kid next to them, saying like, oh, Sarah, awesome job sitting like that, where they hear it. It's just not like my second nature yet, and I'm really trying to work on that. And in the video I can tell I'm getting better at that than what I was at the beginning of this program, but I still, there's lots I can improve on, but that's one thing I definitely would like to see improvement on in the future.
Well, I think you were happy. I think it's hard because we're thinking about the information.
Yeah.
We're thinking about the information and, we're trying to be excited about it, but we're also trying to make sure that they're all doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So,
And I just,
I'm honestly, like I said, yours was really good.
oh, thank you.
Lots of assessing, lots of different multiple means of, representation, engagement, expression in those UDL approaches. And, you just seem so on it and so like focused on them and them, making sure that they really do understand what you're trying to teach them. And it was really transparent through the video.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yours was really, really good. Really good.